All right, all right. So let me bring up the spreadsheet I'm going to be sharing tonight. So what I wanted to focus on tonight, let me just let's see. You're gonna have to ignore the bar that I'm showing. Let me come back over to Zoom. Let me get rid of this here. Okay. There's a lot of information that goes around about like the costs to submit and things like that, and whether people are in profit or not. And this is something that I really, like when I come in and I do updates, I really like to focus on how the liquidity works, how close we are to being fluid. Our pool is so close to being fluid, you almost don't see that in the crypto space, which I've said a few weeks in a row now. And it just keeps getting closer to being fluid. And the selling pressure of the token is really starting to decrease thanks to the hatchery and those types of things that we have here in the ecosystem. No, I'm not sharing my screen yet. I will here in a minute. But here's the question I want to ask everybody before we get started. If you were to take $126 a month, let's say you're mining with 8 Titans, okay? That's what it would cost you to submit per month, $126 roughly right now. If you were to put that in the bank, how much money do you think that bank is going to pay you over the next 12 months? Does anybody have any idea whatsoever what that's going to be? I want you guys to think about that. Now I'm going to share my screen. All right, so let me get rid of this. We're going to go over how all this works, including what the average person is mining right now. So we're going to start out with the Titans. They have 400% mining power. The Vanguards have 200%. Explorers have 150%. Trailblazers have 100%. Navigators have 50%. And I always get this question. Well, what's the 400% of? That's 4 times more than the Trailblazer. That's 100%. That means the Explorer it mines at 50%. You're going to mine 50% more rewards for the physical activity that you're doing than you would if you had a Trailblazer. You're going to mine 50% less on your activities if you're mining with a Navigator. So that's where those percentages come from. And the Titan is the one that mines at 400%. That's 4 times what a Trailblazer is mining at for your physical activity. And the Titan is the only miner that mining power will increase organically without having to boost it once we add the boosts into the project, into the gamification. Right now, if you're mining with a Titan, it is going to cost you 53 cents per miner. Okay, these are fixed rates. These are the in-app fees that are part of the ecosystem. The Avalanche blockchain is going to charge you roughly about 4 cents, not 4 cents per miner, but 4 cents period for submitting. Now, if the blockchain is congested, if it's in high demand, sometimes those mining fees you might see go up to like 6 cents or 7 cents per submission. We have no control over those fees, so we only estimate it. And you can figure that in. I didn't figure it in here because it's not something that is a constant because they do change. So if you're mining with 8 miners, can everybody see my screen good enough or is it not? Let me boost it up here a little bit so it's a little bit bigger.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am,
that's
that's
much
good.
better.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, good. If you're mining with 8 miners, 8 Titans, it's going to cost you $4.20 per day to submit plus 4 cents. So you're looking at roughly $4.24. And if the blockchain charges more, which we have no control over, you would just add that to the $4.20. And I've heard people say it's the same as it is for the submissions. It is absolutely not. All you have to do is copy your internal wallet, go to snowscan.xyz or snowtrace.io and paste in your internal wallet address and you can I can even show you guys. You can tap right on it and it'll show you exactly what those fees are that you paid. So everything is right there. And I went back and I looked and looked and looked, and there was nowhere I could ever find where Avalanche ever charged, more than a few cents per submission. So this is what you're paying per day on 8 of the Titans. If you have 8 Vanguards, it's $2.10 a day. and $1.57, 58. If you have an Explorer, about $1.05 if you have a Trailblazer, and almost 53 cents if you're mining with the Navigators, which would be the old Lennies, okay? Those are the fees if you're mining with 8 miners. Now, your monthly submission fees, if you times that by 30 on 8 miners, $126. And this is why I asked you, what would you make if you were depositing $126 a month into a savings account on the average that a bank pays in interest? I'll tell you, it's about 2 cents on the dollar per month. That's what you'd be making. 2 cents on the dollar. And you had to work your tail off for those dollar bills, right? Here, you're just doing what you're already doing. You're just increasing that physical activity if you want to mine more MoveQuest. And the whole goal is to make everybody motivated and incentivized to become more healthy. Because we all know that across the globe, if you have chronic illness and disease, if you're not healthy, if you have diabetes, if you have heart problems, a lot of it is caused from not being healthy, not having enough physical activity in your day-to-day regimen, being overweight or from obesity. And most of that is coming from the foods that we eat and the sedentary lifestyle that we lead. And so this app motivates you to push yourself to be more active. I'm not a gym goer, and I don't know how many of you here on this call are. I'm personally not, but I have no issue going outside and going for my walks. I have no issue, running in place and do whatever it takes for me to get as much activity in a day as I can. Now, what is the average miner, all 8 miners? What is the average that you're mining a day in MoveQuest? Now, you got to remember, we have very tight tokenomics. So when you go to other projects, maybe 1.5 MoveQuest doesn't seem like a lot. But let me tell you, it is, because we only have 21 million, and they won't be in circulation, all of them, until the year 2060, because we mirror Bitcoin's tokenomics. So a lot of your projects will sell you on that visual idea. If I have 1 million tokens, I could be a millionaire someday if it just hits $1. Well, 90% of those projects, 99.9% of them projects, will have a hard time even getting to a penny because they have too many tokens and they don't have an ecosystem. So this 1.5 that you're mining per day with our tokenomics, that's a lot of MoveQuest. Now you got to remember, you're actually getting double this. But today I'm only focused on what you're actually seeing in your wallet, not what's in the reserve, because this is all people see in their wallet. So really, it's all you can actually visually say, this is what I have. But keep in mind that all of these figures that I'm giving you here are times 2. But what's in that reserve contract, that's when we have the community growth, we have that stable, solid liquidity pool. And by that time, you're talking about a token that is in the double digits, if not triple digits. So you're talking, $50 to $75, $100, $200, $300 token. So you are actually, those tokens that are in that reserve contract are worth way more than what we're talking about right here. So I want everybody to always remember that when you're looking at the market value and if it's worth it or not for you to submit, because I hear this all the time. Well, I don't know if it's really worth it for me to submit because the token's so low. Well, I'm going to show you why it's worth it for you to submit. One thing, you're never at a loss. Never. There's not been a single time when you submit that you would be at a loss. No matter what anybody says, it just doesn't happen because this project doesn't operate like that. So even if you were to mine with 1 token, I'm going to show you where you're going to still be in profit. But let's stick to the 8 right now, okay? This is an average of 45 MoveQuest tokens that you're mining per month. What did it cost you to mine those tokens? $4.20 a day, $126 a month. Now, if you look at the market value of the MoveQuest, which is $1 or $11.44 right now, that means every day you're making $17.16. You only paid a $4.20 submission fee. It's not a loss for you. Even down here with the navigators, the 50% miners, even though it's only $2.15 today, it is still profit. It's still profit. You're not at a loss. And I'm going to show you why it's worth it in the future. So this is what you would be earning in your first month, doing what you're already doing. $514 at the current market value of MoveQuest. Now, this is where we're talking about the profit and the loss here, okay? On the Titans, there is no loss. It's all profit because on a daily basis, this is what you'd be earning. This is minus cost. Now this here, this is before you deduct the cost. This is after you spent to submit. So this is your monthly profit. This is your gross. This is your net. And this is at 50%. This is not even doing 20,000 steps per day. This is just doing 10,000 steps per day. Now, if you're doing 100% maxing out, your profit is higher. So on a daily basis, you're making the $12.96, and every month you're making $3.88. But if you're only mining at 50%, you're making $194. Okay, I had that backwards. $3.88 is at 100%. So I'm going to show you what it is at 100%. Here's what it is if you're only doing 10,000 steps. But you see here, you're still in profit. You haven't lost anything, even doing 50% of the physical activity. So even on your navigators, they're still in profit. So let's take this down to 25%, which means you're doing 5,000 steps per day. You're still in profit on every single miner. Still in profit. You're still not at a loss, even with your submissions. Let's say you're only doing 2,000 steps a day. You're still in profit. You're still not at a loss. Let's say you just don't move at all. You're only doing 200 steps a day. You are still in profit. You're not at a loss. Now we'll put this back up to the 100% just in case I have any of my rows down here wrong. So let's say we all know that MoveQuest made it to $125. It only took 3,700 people in our community to get there. Right now, we would have close to about 8,000 people who actually have plugged in their miners into the mining dock, but we're down to about 3,200 people who are submitting every day. Why? Because they think it's not worth it because the market value of the token is down. This is where you have to understand where the ecosystem comes in. The community's engagement in the ecosystem is what drives the injection of the liquidity into the pool. It's not from new users coming in. Remember, when a new user comes in and they mint those miners, that MoveQuest never touches the liquidity. It doesn't pay any of the costs, developers, designers. It doesn't go to any person, any admin, not me, nobody. It goes back to the vault. It's never used. It doesn't rely on new people coming into the project. The stability of the project relies on that peer-to-peer community's engagement within the project. So for anybody who doesn't think it's worth it because the market value is only $11.44, you've got to remember that you're actually cutting into your profits by not submitting. So let's take what you've mined per month and take it for 1 year. Okay, this is 12 months. That means a Titan is mining 540 MoveQuest tokens. Even down here to the navigator, you're mining 67.5 MoveQuest tokens in that 1 year. And MoveQuest goes to $125. Okay, here you're making $388, and let's do something else here. Let me take this amount, and we're going to times it by 12. Just so you get an idea of what you would make if the market value just stays at $11. Okay, all the way through the year. Never goes up. It just stays right there. Yeah. Get these things out of my way. All right. That dang thing out of here. Okay, here we go. Still a profit of $46.65 per year. Even your navigators is still a profit of $583.20 per year. Now, if you put that in the bank over 12 months, you made a whopping $30.72. But if you bank your MoveQuest, you're going to make $4,665. That's if MoveQuest just stays at $11.44 and never goes up. So where would you rather have your money? In the bank or holding it with MoveQuest? I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. And because we have an ecosystem, a self-sustaining ecosystem, and you guys can all see, you don't lose here. And this isn't including, I'm going to go over submissions here in a minute, just so you guys can see the dynamics and the power of that. Our entire ecosystem is based off of submissions. The rest of the ecosystem plays around the submissions, meaning it just makes the ecosystem even more powerful. But we base our numbers on the number of people that are engaged in our community so that the ecosystem knows what to do. It knows what to do with the evolution, USDT. It knows what to do with the mining dock. It knows what to do with the challenges. It knows what to do with the leasing, with the boosts, all that revenue that's coming in. Because when the submissions are there to stabilize the market for the MoveQuest that's going into circulation each day, it doesn't need to rely on the evolution and all these other pieces to boost the liquidity. It can actually go in and do some market corrections and then inject it into liquidity. There's so many dynamics that make this so stable and extremely powerful. You'll never see anything like this in the crypto space. It doesn't exist. We're the only project that's ever done this. You won't find a single one. I can, with great assurance, if you are submitting every day and you are mining and you are, at least doing 200 steps a day, you won't lose money here. I can actually tell you that because of the ecosystem. All you got to do is move. That's it. All you got to do is move and submit. And when a bank will pay you $3.64 on the same amount of money per month, this is what you're going to make per month or per year right here. This is what you're going to make for the year. This is what they're going to pay you per month. This is what you're going to make for the whole year. So you navigators who don't think it's worth it to submit, if you still put $15.75 a month into the bank, this is what you're going to make in a year. But this is what you're going to make with MoveQuest. If MoveQuest never moves another penny on the market, just stays at $11.44. But we already know that ain't going to happen, right? Because this is too powerful. At some point, this project's going to go viral because people will see over time how this works. And all of you who have been here already and have been in other crypto projects, you already know those projects who have come and gone in less time than what we're already here. And we just keep getting more and more stable. When you can see, and I'm going to come over here when you can come here and you can see these sellers, okay, for example, 235 sellers today, 44 buyers, 29,000 sold, 26,000 sold. But do you see the liquidity? Do you ever see that change? No. It'll go up, but it almost never goes down. Why? Because we have a self-sustaining ecosystem. It stabilizes the market because of the ecosystem, because of the community's engagement. So the more of you who are engaged and the more of you who are submitting that proof of physical activity, you'll start to see this go up and keep going up and keep going up. And you're not doing yourselves any favors, honestly, because when it does get back up to this mark, you Titans, if you were to hold all of that MoveQuest and you didn't sell it for the 12 months, that's what it would be valued at. Vanguard's 33,000, not 2,300, 33,000. Explorers, not 1,700, and this is for the year, but 25,000. Trailblazers, 16,000 versus 1,100. And you navigators, $8,400. When we have a community of 25,000 people, 30,000 people, you're looking at a token that's pushing the $1,000 mark. And really, if I told you the real truth, I'm really lowballing it. It doesn't even take 50,000 for us to be at the $6,000 mark. Okay, for the market value of the token. But nobody believes me when I tell them that. You just have to see it. Although everything I told you so far has happened. Market value, size of the community, how the ecosystem works. Math doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. This is not a project that's based on speculation. This is a project that's based on a self-sustaining ecosystem, mathematics, and a community who's engaged. So it's real easy to project. The community grows and everything else grows with it. So let me just really show you guys something fun because I'm one of these people, I like big numbers. And I'm going to tell you here right now, you guys, any of you say you won't or can't make a million in your lifetime, you're absolutely wrong. I came from a normal family. My dad retired from GM. My stepmom didn't work. She did some daycare stuff for like family, but she never charged anybody. We had but one income, which was good income, for us, but we weren't wealthy or rich. When I made my first million, even all my kids were like, "Ooh, we never thought you'd ever do it, but wow, you did it." Anybody can money's so easy to make, you guys. You just have to believe in yourself. And you have to put a little bit, sometimes you have to go without a little bit, or you have to make some sacrifices. And I really don't consider this a sacrifice. And I'm not trying to some people take this the wrong way. Oh, she's trying to, talk them into submitting. No, if you don't want to submit, don't submit. But what I'm trying to show you is how this all works so that you are completely informed. Because when this token hits, and let's just say it only goes to 1250. Okay, you Titans, if you held that for 1 year, that's $675,000. That's $126 a month. And the bank is still only going to pay you $30.72. And I don't have a doubt in my mind that we won't hit this market value in the next few months. I have no doubt in my mind that we will reach 50,000 people in the community, 100,000 people in the community, 200,000 people in the community. And when we start pushing into that 100,000 mark, look what our token will be worth. Okay, now you Titans who held on to that for a year, it's worth $60 million. And you navigators who don't think it's worth it, you just made yourself a millionaire times 7.5. Do you see why it's worth it? It is truly worth it. And even if it only goes to $60, is it worth it? That's worth it. What did you do? You earned by becoming more healthy, by focusing on your fitness, by focusing on your activity, by creating a better, healthier lifestyle for yourself. It pays you. Now we're going to go look at the submissions because let's see, I think I deleted all of that. What did I do with that? Let me pause my spreadsheet. Some of the stuff I keep under wraps. Hold on, I got to pause. Does it allow me to pause here? Yep. Okay. Hold on, guys. I want to make sure I'm in the right spreadsheet so I can show you this. Submission. Okay. Yep. Right there it is. There, I was in the right one. Okay. And just to give you an idea of what this looks like. So currently, and this is off. Right now, my stats aren't showing accurately. I have to go in and I have to recalculate. But this is where we were at about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think we're pushing about 37,000. Let me see where we're at. I can at least get the number of miners. 36,032, which I still think is off because for some reason my stats aren't working for me. So the developers are doing something on the site and it's not giving me accurate, but it's still, at least another couple thousand miners have gone into the mining docks. Now, this is based on 4,394 submissions. So when you come back over here and you look, we're at about 3,500. So we're not reaching the full capacity. That's not what we have in submissions every day. But if we did, times that by 365 days, That's the $4 million in liquidity. Now, if we come back over here to hold on here, I gotta find which one I'm at. Missing submission right here. Nope. Hold on, guys. I gotta figure out, oh, daily. I got so many dang contract. Oh, nope, that's not the right one either. Alt distribution. Is there a distribution? Oh, it's this calculator. Sorry, guys. I have so many spreadsheets that I pay attention to in a day. So in 1 year, if the community never grew, not one single person joined our community. Remember, not one single person joined our community. If you come down here, this is what we need to be fluid in our pool right now, 2.3 million. This is what we need to be fluid in our pool if you were to include all the MoveQuest that's in the hatchery, which right now it's like 161,000 MoveQuest, but those are in that contract, so they're not being sold right now. But when they come out of the contract, if they were being sold, this is what we would need to be fluid. What does fluid mean? It means everybody who's holding MoveQuest could sell it for the market value. It's like a stable token. MoveQuest is almost a stable token. We're $365,000 away from being a stable token. Okay, that's how solid this project is. It's because of the ecosystem. So if I come back over here and we look at these submissions, why is it important to you as a user of this project to do the submissions? Because it stabilizes that market value. So at the very least, you would be able to sell your MoveQuest at $11.44. It stabilizes the market. Now, if we were to double our community to where we had 8,700 and some people. Let me bring this up so you can see this better. Okay, that's 8,789 wallets who are submitting. And this is based on 8 miners. That's what would go into liquidity every day. Okay, now you've got double the liquidity than what you would have, obviously, because we doubled our numbers. Now, they don't have to come in and mint miners. They're going to be able to come in and lease because why? They still submit, they still claim, they're still engaged in that ecosystem. And so our goal is to get our community growth where we need it to be. When we get to that 30,000 mark right here, now, and I'm going to tell you that the market value of the token will be extremely higher. And so what you get here, let's see, if we have 30,000 people, we are looking at a market value well over the $300 mark. And this is what we would be bringing in on the numbers that we have right now. That's $194,000 a day. Okay, so if we take that and we times that by the 12 months, this is daily, times that by the 365 days, that's 71 million going into the pool. So the fees would be much higher. And this is only based on this amount of people. That's the 30 or 4,200 wallets. So if we were to times this, how many did I put that up there by 7? I'm going to times this by 7. That's 497 million that's going into that pool just from your submissions. It doesn't include anything from the leasing. It doesn't include anything from claims. It doesn't include the mining dock. It doesn't include minting. It doesn't include evolving. It doesn't include leasing or challenges or boosts or any of the gamification. It's just the submissions. So you can see why the submissions are it's really the core part of the algorithm in this project. And then everything else builds around it. So all of you here, do you see why it is very important to you to submit every day? Because it really does play a huge role in the success of the project and the tokens that you're holding. Now, if I can go back and find that spreadsheet again, I gotta name these a little bit different so I can find them. Oh, it's back here, isn't it? Submission. Sorry, guys. There we go. Let's bring all this up. So is there any What do you think? Ken, Herschel? Any questions from you guys? I know you guys got the chat, so I don't know if anybody's got questions, but does everybody understand the power behind this and what it's doing from your submissions?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do have one question that came in. If you can touch on it on the Q&A.
Okay.
Um, is there, are we accounting for the fact that as more people come in, less tokens will be, it won't be a fixed amount, so to speak, of tokens that each of us are able to get like we are right now. And in your sheet, we're showing this example off of, 1.5, if you have 8 Titans. How does that shift
Is
impact these
yeah, well,
numbers?
it will impact it a bit, but you got to remember that if the amount of tokens that you're mining is decreasing, that means the market value of the token is increasing. And so it balances itself out. This is why being in now is really a great time for everybody because we've been on the market for almost 5 months. So if all of you had held your tokens, you would have, and let me do this because it's actually double. So let's go, this equals that times. So you actually should have had 450 just from mining, okay? Not the 225 because you'll still get that. But if you were just mining right now at the 225, this will show you what it would be um, of the of the tokens that you're mining. And this is if the market value goes to $60. Let me put this as a dollar so everybody can see what it is. Now, if you, let's say it decreases, okay? And maybe it decreases as we're growing, if we grow by 1% and it decreases by, 1% overall. So you can kind of figure it from there. But you got to remember that while the amount you're mining may decrease, the value of what you are mining is increasing. So right now, you guys don't understand, this is the best time to be holding your tokens. Selling that MoveQuest right now, I mean, everybody's got to do what they got to do. But wow. I mean, because really there's no reason. I mean, well, I don't know what people's reasons are, but to me, there's nothing that could make me sell my MoveQuest. But I'm a crypto addict, okay? And I'm kind of a hoarder. So I don't like, selling my tokens, especially on promising blockchains. Blockchains are about the only thing that I invest money in. And then this project here, of course, obviously I buy a lot of the MoveQuest, but I've never been real big into buying into projects because none of them had a self-sustaining ecosystem. None of them had utility. Community had to supply the liquidity. They always had pre-sales. They had overinflated tokenomics. Their smart contracts weren't up to par. So I always steered away from, I've been involved in a few projects, but very few where I purchased their tokens. And almost every time I did, it was only a few months and they were gone. But that's not the case here. And so everybody's got to kind of understand how this project works. And I know why people are doing it because they figure, well, I better get it while the getting's good because, they all fail. Well, they all fail because they didn't build their foundation with a self-sustaining ecosystem. They didn't build their project with the same fundamentals as a blockchain. Blockchains are self-sustaining ecosystems, and projects have to follow that protocol. MoveQuest follows that protocol 100%, probably even more so than your blockchains because we leave 90% for liquidity. And your blockchains, even there, I mean, granted, look at Bitcoin. Okay, it's great. We've already way past what AVAX's market is on their token. MoveQuest has already gone higher than BNB did in its first few years. Look how long it took Ethereum to get where they were. I mean, they were at a few dollars for a very long time. Our ecosystem is even more sustainable than the blockchains because we leave all the money in it from the community. So the community doesn't have to supply the liquidity out of their own pocket. When you have a community supply that liquidity, it never is there forever. Nobody's going to leave their money in a project forever. But when you are engaged in the ecosystem, that money is always in the liquidity pool. There's never anybody there to pull that liquidity. It belongs to the community. It's the community's liquidity pool. That's how the community is supplying that liquidity. You're supplying that liquidity from the engagement in the ecosystem. The more engagement, the more liquidity. The more engagement, the more stability. The more engagement, the higher the market value of the token. It's all based on the engagement and the use of the token in the ecosystem. And there's tons of utility here. And it's a very, very robust ecosystem. And 90% is a lot. There's not a project that does that anywhere. Never anywhere that leaves that in their liquidity. And that's why we are almost a stable token. I don't know if you guys are grasping that. Like USDT is almost, it's 99 cents to a dollar 9 times out of 10. We leave 90% in, and that's giving you, it's only 10% away from a stable token. And I can prove that to you by going to our calculator. Let me see what I do with that. When you look at this amount here, that's $365,000 is what we're shy in the liquidity pool from being fluid. Why? Because we already have this amount of MoveQuest that's banked already. It's already banked. So we've already got half of it. And that is what's left that needs to come in USDT. Now this fluctuates from time to time. If we were to, this is 162, let me just copy this. So let's say we had, and we will increase it. Right now, there's 175,000 MoveQuest tokens that can go into the hatchery. You see how it decreases that down to 289,000 to be fluid? Why? Because those tokens are in a smart contract and they aren't going to be sold. So it removes that selling pressure. And so you start to see where it's only 289,000 that we need paired to 24,000 MoveQuest tokens to be fluid. Now, this is what we need to be fluid, 2.2 million. Okay, this is 2.8 million. So it's almost at that 10%. Why? 90% stays. 90% stays. And we're 10% shy of having what we need. About 11%, give or take. That's almost a stable token, guys. That's how powerful this project is. If that doesn't motivate you guys, I don't know what does. That to me is pretty amazing. It's very spectacular. And I think it's taken a while for people to understand, the power behind this, but you definitely want to be doing those submissions because it's your future. This project is here to stay. It can never go bankrupt. Ever, ever, never, ever. Even if not one single person new come into this project and minted one single miner or plugged in one single miner in the mining dock. Why? Because the engagement in the ecosystem is what sustains it. So all of you who are here will always be able to enjoy the market value at $11.44. Now, if the other couple thousand people start doing their submissions, that market value of that token is going to come up and it's going to stabilize there. And it's here forever. It's never going away. It's always here. However, if we're building the community, the market value of the token is going to go up, the liquidity pool is going to continue to stabilize, and it's just going to get stronger and stronger. To me, that's powerful. That's what I got for everybody. And I'm just going to answer one of these questions that come in about US taxes. If we send out whatever, if we report, okay, first of all, this is decentralized. We're not the custodian of anybody's money ever. All these smart contracts manage your money. You're the one who receives that money. So, or those tokens. When you cash them out through a centralized exchange, they do all the KYC and they're the ones who will give you, those 1099s on what your profit and loss was on your crypto. We're not the custodian of any of your monies. We're literally a decentralized project. Everything goes on the blockchain. You don't even need me here for this project to run. It's self-sufficient. It doesn't require human intervention or human maintenance or intermediary or anything like that. You're literally doing everything yourself. You're making all the calls to the contracts. You get your earnings in real time instantly from smart contracts. Everything is already is it's done instantly in real time. There's no person that manages this. So we don't send you anything for any type of taxes. You do that through your centralized exchanges that get all of that information. And somebody asked how many users does it take to reach $1,000? So I'm going to share my screen just one more time so you guys can see, because I started showing you guys, or I told you guys what it would take to get to the $6,000 mark. So this is based on the market value of the token today. So starting from today, not from the beginning. So if you come all the way down here, sorry, because I take a lot of information into context here. 21,280 wallets that are mining with 8 miners will take the token to $6,032. Remember, I was telling you what it would take to get to 6,000. It doesn't even take 50,000. It's
Oh my
21,000
gosh.
wallets that are mining with 8 miners. Now, if you want to just get to the 1,000, so to be about what? 112 divided by, I don't know, we'll say about 45. Here, where does that take us to? Roughly about 1,036. It would be about 8,550 wallets that are mining with 8. You guys, I got to tell you something. We're already here. We would have already made it to this market value if there hadn't been that overselling by the community. We would have already been here. We would have been here a couple of months ago. And then you got some of that fallout who don't think it's worth it to submit. And believe it or not, those submissions has a lot to do with all of this too. So we're actually already here, but the overselling without the community continuing to grow and then the submission fall off. So that here I've got everything is done in a perfect world. You know, everybody is submitting, everybody is yada, yada, yada. And that's where we would have been. But we've had so much selling pressure. If you come over here and you look at this pool, I'm going to come here to this pool right here. When we had the proper holders, which I love the liquidity the way it is, so don't get me wrong. There's 71,740 MoveQuest in the pool. You know, when we first got started, we were maintaining at about 20 to 24,000 MoveQuest to this amount of USDT. Personally, I'm very happy that we had the sellers that we did. I'm not disappointed in the least, not even a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, because if we were to, and I'll come over here, the projection here. Okay, this is where we would be fluid, because we would be, so 157,000. I'm going to put the 24,000 in here where we were before, and we had 2 million in the pool of USDT. That's what our market value would have been at 83.33. But do you see the liquidity would have needed 17 million? Now, I really like this because this is where we become fluid, where the liquidity pool only needs 2.3 million. And we're almost there. We're at 1.64 million. So we're only 731,000 shy. We already have the MoveQuest. That's already banked. So this is all it needs. Then you just continue to pad that liquidity pool. So as the community is growing and the MoveQuest is in more demand, you'll see the market value come up and you'll see it continue to stabilize. So this is much more attractive for a brand new project. And I was just telling somebody or a group of people I was in a meeting with today, if you were to look at the top user move to earn, step in, they're like almost $1 billion short in their liquidity pool from being fluid. It was like 480 some million dollars just in the one token of the pair. Okay, that doesn't even include the equal value of their token that has to be paired to whatever token they're pairing to. You don't see this, but this is a beautiful thing. This is an amazing thing right here. This is what we have in the liquidity. This is what we need in the liquidity for every token that's in circulation to be able to sell them at $11.47. We are about 11% away from being a stable token. because of our ecosystem. So don't be disappointed because of the people who sold, because they did us all a favor. Because moving forward, it just made this even more stable, the liquidity, because instead of trying to catch up to 17 million, we have almost caught up to the 2.3 million. And so it's just glory days from there on. So we are poised for near perfection for a crypto project in the on this market, in this landscape.
Hey, Lynette, can you go back to that number? I just almost spit my drink out when you showed it, but you said it was 6,000 or so, or 21,000 or so,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
at eight. Yeah, Titans was how much was the token?
The with 8550, if we had 88,550 wallets who had minted the 16 miners and evolved them up to the Titans, our market value would be at 1,000 already.
Yeah, I think it was another one where yeah, it was something else. The token was like, I don't know, 6,000. It
But
was crazy. I
let
don't know.
me,
It's they
I'll show you
all the numbers just are incredible. So, but it's just funny because I just look
20
at the number of people that it would take, and it's just like it's
right
just
here.
inevitable we're gonna get there. There you go. Yeah,
Actually, I think I had it at 112.
right. It's amazing stuff. Yeah, I can see by next quarter or less, we're already there easily.
That's 112 people coming in every single day over the
There you
next
go.
86 days. So that's 21,280 and the token is at $6,000. That's 21,280 wallets mining with 8 Titans. And this is the market value of the token.
Unreal. I mean, that right there is
That's nothing.
no, it's nothing. And what's crazy about that number is that it's literally life change, a generational life changing situation for a lot of us, for a lot of people. It is. It is. I mean, just do the math. It's incredible, and it's so early into the process of where we're really headed. It's yeah, it's you just start to run out of words to explain what's happening here, but hey, we're here for it. So
And the good thing for all the sellers that now are already kind of thinking like, what the hell did I just do? Or why did I do that? At least you still got 50% of what you already sold in a reserve wallet.
there you go. Yeah, you're dealing with a half, right? It's true.
You can still catch up. You're not going to have what you would
Yeah.
have had, but you can still catch up because you can
Right.
still be mining and you can still be submitting. And this is still a really good
Mhm.
time to be involved. It's never
Yeah.
going to not be a good time. I started buying Bitcoin when it was 10 cents, no lie, 10
Yeah.
cents Bitcoin. I don't have them anymore because I got this is locked in a crash hard drive, but that's neither here nor there. But even when I was buying Bitcoin, at $50, $100 or $1,000, okay, I still have those. It never sold them, never will until because I know it'll hit $1 million.
Mm.
The Bitcoin token, I've not a doubt in my mind that it'll hit $1 million per token. You're going to tell me that it still wouldn't be worth it for you to buy, a couple $100. For example, one wallet that has $15,000 in value of Bitcoin is already doubled itself nearly just with Bitcoin's bull run over the last several weeks.
Mm. Yeah. And that time frame gets shorter and shorter as it halves and has as the demand and the supply and demand, all that kicks in. Yeah, it even it's gonna take even a shorter amount of time to get to that 10x or whatever the next to go round, right? It's just how it works.
Yep.
It's amazing.
And MoveQuest, I mean, we mirror their tokenomics with a more robust ecosystem.
Right.
We already have surpassed what Bitcoin did in its first 2 years.
Right.
No, Miss Lynette, and I know on this screen, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're looking at, the process if people were buying the Lenny miners in these numbers.
Yep.
But when we look at the fact that we have 6,000 wallets currently with MoveQuest miners docked in them within this ecosystem right now. And the numbers that you showed earlier represent just with daily submissions, the amount of the liquidity that's coming into the ecosystem on a daily basis. So we're basically saying that people here within the next week or so will be in a position, whether they have the investment capital or not, to acquire, or purchasing capital, I should say, to acquire their own miners, will have the ability to, at a very low entry level, be mining with 8 miners of some sort. And if everybody in the ecosystem of 6,000 shared this with 2.5 people, we would be over that 21,000 mark of day with people daily submitting.
We would be. And here's the other thing too to think about, because I know, we have some different, now we'll have the 3 different ways for people to onboard and to get started. So the hatchery, if you look at this spreadsheet real quick, there are 14,067 miners that are docked, that are Titans, 8398 that are alphas, 2421 that are ultras. Okay, so that's 4394, 35,000 miners. So they haven't all gone up to that Titan level. So to get to where we would want it to be, we would need, let's see, where's that MoveQuest? Do you remember how many Titans it was? I can't even remember. I guess it don't really matter. I don't have to. See, we're at 14,000. It would need 170,000. So I mean, we're a ways away from that. You know what I'm saying? But the hatchery, let me see, where did I? That where I'm going to be right here. The hatchery is a really great way for people to, it's about $6,300 if you're going to start with 16 of the navigators, the lower miners, and then evolve them all the way up to the Titans at full price. Now we don't have them. We've got our until the 26th, 27th. What day did we decide? I guess we're launching when the leasing comes out. So the 26th or the 27th, when we release the leasing, the evolution will go back to its full price. So right now we've done that promo for people so they can kind of get ready for the leasing, for you guys to be able to basically get your miners leveled up before we take the price back up to its normal rate. But when you look at the hatchery, it is a wonderful thing for the project, because like I was showing you over here when we were looking, because I've had a lot of people ask me, and I'll do up a calculator here where I was showing you what that build would do if we had X amount of wallets with, the Titans. So if we were to go and we were to look at this calculator here, and you look at this hatchery, see, I want you to watch this number right here to be fluid, because this is what's pulling out of circulation. As the MoveQuest goes up, the more that's going into distribution, we'll be able to increase the amount that can go in the hatchery. So let's just say we've got the hatchery opened up for 300,000 MoveQuest to go into circulation. And let's say it takes us 200 days, okay, to get there. That increases what's in total distribution. But you see the effect here?
Mm.
We would already,
Yes.
and let's say it took us, however many days, let's see, to get that amount. Where was my days at? Why am I missing this? Oh, right here. Jeez. Let's say it took us a year, 365 days. Okay, that's when that 1.12 million. And we still, let's say MoveQuest, let's say half of them are sold. 500,000. We're still only 1.1 million shy of what it needs to have in the liquidity pool, even if all of those were sold. This is saying that nobody else comes in new.
Hmm.
This is just you, all of us here in the current community, and all of that MoveQuest still going in, and everybody's still selling. That hatchery is still there, and when it pulls that MoveQuest out of circulation and into the hatchery, giving you miners, it takes that selling pressure off of the market. And so that is a major stabilizer. So minting has a powerful effect on the liquidity pool, but I can't say that it's more powerful than the hatchery. The hatchery is equally powerful because of the dynamics of pulling that MoveQuest out of circulation and the impact that it has on the liquidity pool. So that's a great way for people to get started. You can deposit the MoveQuest, you get it all back. And while you've got it in there, the market value while we're building should start to increase. So you're making a profit on that MoveQuest that's sitting in the hatchery and you're getting those miners. And it's $24 per Vanguard, and then you go and evolve them. So you're looking at about $248 per Titan instead of 750. That's a big deal. But the flip side is you've really done a major boost to the liquidity pool because you've removed that selling pressure. So the hatchery is very powerful. The leasing, nobody's minting, but you've acquired these miners most likely through the hatchery. And so they're submitting. So you're increasing that daily submission, which is the foundational part of the algorithms to the ecosystem. So the more people submitting, the better the liquidity pool on an everyday basis, because it starts to offset what's going into circulation. Let me go back and fix my spreadsheet here so I don't lose what I was doing. Okay, we're at 139 days. Do I have the pool? Okay, the pool's back. And I had shown you guys this on one of these sheets today. Go to submission. I think it's this one here. Oh, no. So it would be, where did I show you guys that submission? Where I showed you guys how much it takes. Maybe it was on this other calculator. Hold on. Might have been on this one. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out where I put this. I might have already deleted it off my calculator. Oh, right here. So right now, if you look at the 2,500 MoveQuest that goes into circulation and you multiply it by the market value of the token today, this is what could potentially be sold and removed from the liquidity pool from everybody who's mining on a day-to-day basis. This here is about what is coming in per day in submissions that can be added to the liquidity pool. So it's roughly 22,000 shy. That's why those submissions are so important. Because if you come back over here to the submission calculator, the growth of the community, the engagement in the ecosystem, that's where this comes in. So you see here, that's just 4,300 people. But if we multiply this by 2, that's 8,700 wallets, okay, with these types of miners. And now you've got 22,000 per day that's going into the liquidity pool from the submissions. So if you come back over here to the fluid calculator, now watch that, it's 22,180. We're 22,682. Okay, it doesn't take many people for us to get there for it to cover everything that's being sold on a day-to-day basis. It takes 8,700 wallets who are mining at 70,000 miners plugged into the mining dock. And we've got what we need for the market value of the token to meet this. Now, remember, as the market value of the token goes up, so do the submission fees. So the submission fees increase as the market value of the token increases. And so it will continue to increase. I didn't fix this to do all all this down here. I just did this up here because that's where we're working at right now. So it's completely stabilizes the market. And this is with nobody coming new. Nobody new is coming into MoveQuest. Okay, we built the community. Now we have 8,700 wallets that are submitting on 70,000 miners. And from this day forward, nobody comes in. Okay, but this is what stabilizes that market value of those tokens that are being mined every day. And we already know that's never going to happen. Our community is going to continue to grow. People are going to continue to evolve. They're going to continue to hatch. They're going to do the leasing. They're going to do the challenges. They're going to boost. They're going to, go through the gamification. They're going to do the, unlock the mining dock slots. All of this stuff is extra. That's extra in addition to that. Our goal is to stabilize it through the community engagement with the submitting of the proof of physical activity to the blockchain. And everything else is just a bonus to the pool. I mean, I can't say it any better, but this is the hottest thing on the market. And it's the most stable project on the market. It doesn't require new people coming into the community. It just requires an engaged existing community, and it stabilizes itself through the gamification.
Move and submit.
Move,
Yeah.
submit,
That's it.
healthy, be wealthy,
That's it. That's what we got to do. So I guess, how many are on this Zoom tonight? 300. We haven't lost, yeah, about 330 people. Yeah, amazing. So if one of these 300 people, I want you to do something for me in the chat. If you believe, there's a key word there, believe. Lynette mentioned that earlier. Mr. Robinson mentioned a little bit of that as well. But if you believe, regardless of where you stand, some of you obviously probably haven't been submitting. That's okay. We just broke down. Now you understand that submitting, regardless of what you thought was taking place, is very valuable. It's extremely valuable because of how we're positioned, the timing, right? All those things. If you believe in the next, what is it, 30 or so days? Was it 30 days we had an idea about? Was it 30 days or I guess maybe the next few weeks, but really a 30-day window? Can you submit for 30 consecutive days?
Hold on one
Right?
second,
Are
Ken.
you,
One second, Ken. Hate to
yes,
interrupt you. Everybody switch to everyone, not hosting panelists, so
there you go.
everybody can see.
There you go. Yeah. Basically, what we're saying, we need everybody to submit. Let me just cut to it. All this like stammering and stuttering over what I'm trying to say. Look, we need everybody to submit. Period. We just need you to submit. We need you to do what you came here to do and continue to keep that vision, to keep that drive alive about what you were excited about when the token was going from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100, all the way up to 100. And yet it came back down. But guess what? We weren't ready for that anyway. And Lynette told us that. So right now we're stable. And the token's dang near a stable token. We have 3 times the amount of people we had when we made that first run. We have the app. We have the website. The Web3's coming. The leasing's coming. Everything is going to be ready. The MoveQuest.live. As you can see, everything's being refocused and rebranded and streamlined going into the new year. I'm telling you, like, just focus on getting back on that horse or pressing that pedal back down to the metal and moving and submitting, regardless of what the number says. Oh, 0.5, oh, I'm not getting it. Yes, you are. You're getting a whole lot because remember, you're getting double the amount anyway. You're thinking small, think bigger, faster. There you go. Think bigger, much faster. And Chad said it so eloquently. Don't be that person that doesn't and thinks small and allow the people to come behind you in this protocol and run right by you. And then you're looking at them and they're getting all kinds of, they're getting the things that they want because they stayed consistent and they came in this thing and they did not play around with this deal. You came first. Early is an asset. It's a huge asset in this space. You're very early. These numbers are hilarious when I think about the numbers that we're talking about. 21,000 people doing, wallets doing what? You just stay the course. Let's get back focused on the things that are going to get all of us to where we really want to go. Submitting, claiming, submitting every day, claiming every 10 days, submitting every day, claiming every 10 days. If you have a tech issue, it's okay. We'll figure it out. It's nothing we haven't seen before. It's probably user error. It usually is. It's usually your connection. It's something you're not logging in right or something's not set up right or something like, or maybe it's just the network. It happens. It's technology. It's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be things that are going to be happening when you're dealing with technology. Apple has more tickets probably on a daily basis than any company. Does that mean they're not successful? Right? It's just part of the deal. So let's not get our, whatever off course because we have a little issue with tech and the numbers aren't right and this and this and that. Let's focus. Remember, everything's not going to be perfect, but we're going to strive for perfection. Right? I just want to leave y'all with that. We got to get back on the horse here, get back pressing the pedal to the metal, submitting our numbers, claiming every 10 days, and let the people behind the scenes like Lynette, the dev team, and the leadership lead us to where we want to go. That's what we're doing. That's what we've been doing. Right. And you're right, Chad. We've been quiet at sometimes. Sometimes you got to get quiet and get focused on the things that you need to get focused on, re-energize, come back, and allow things to manifest in the way they need to manifest. And that's what we've been doing. So I'm excited about this deal, man. Like I've never been before because it just starts to hit home a lot more when you realize we just paid out darn near $30 million The token's still sitting at $11.50 or whatever. We're almost a stable token, and we've literally done nothing. Let's just be honest. They're not even at 10,000 people. It's like, what else you need to? This is what we've been waiting for. For those that have been in crypto, you've been waiting for this, right? I'm done. Whoever else wants to talk can talk.
And
I'm ready.
one other major or important thing that everybody on this call
What you're gonna
tonight
say?
can do to
Yes.
help impact this movement forward. Those individuals that you shared this with, that you know are not on this call tonight, that you know have not been submitting, the friends, the cousins, the aunties, the co-workers that you know are already sitting on digital assets that are making them nothing. They've already paid for the miners. We would be doing ourselves, our community, a disservice if we didn't communicate this information to them to make sure that they have the opportunity to get re-engaged and start submitting on a daily basis. We have half the community. Just think about it. Half the community re-engages just submitting on a daily basis. Charts change instantly.
Let me add a couple things here that have been in the chat too. Somebody asked if I would reiterate on the milestones as far as where we're at right now. So the website was going to go live yesterday, but our designers got the new 3D images for the miners completed. And so what they're doing, they're not just images, we actually code those miners. And so they're finishing that up. And so I just told them to wait on taking the website live on the actual domain name, not the dev dot. So I'm hoping that they'll be ready by tomorrow. If not, it'll be Saturday, the website, because I want them to include the miners, the updated miners. So that'll happen any day. As far as the Christmas, the 7 days or 5 days before Christmas or whatever it was, if for some reason the website isn't ready by tomorrow, we'll add tomorrow's and the next day on to the what is it, the 21st. And we're still getting that stuff set up. So we're not telling you what they are yet, because to be honest with you, we're still correlating all of that together to see what works the best for what we're doing. So you'll just see, they're just little Christmas presents kind of things that we're doing, fun stuff. And let's see, what else was there? What was this question as far as the milestones update plans again for the last meeting, as far as the boosts? Okay, boosts, I would expect them after the new year. I would also expect the app shortly after the new year. We're going to give you guys a countdown day because we really want to do a marketing campaign prior to that and get everybody kind of ready for the new app. After Christmas plans are no different than the before Christmas plans. We work 24/7 around the clock on this project. And this Ricardo on here telling me that the fees don't stay the same. The fees absolutely do stay the same. So if you go into the app, you can look at it. They are static, they're not elastic. We charge a fee per, and it's based on a price. Okay, so if we say it's $1, it's going to give you the AVAX value of $1. So those always stay the same, and I can prove it to you all day long. All you got to do is go to the blockchain. You can look at it yourself. So I don't even want to debate that here. It is exactly the way I told you it is. The only thing that changes is what AVAX charges you as a blockchain fee. That fluctuates, and we can't tell you for sure what that is going to be. In fact, I'm going to show you guys exactly right now how you find these submission fees. You can go to the blockchain because people always tell me that I'm wrong when I know I'm right. I'm the one who created the thing, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to take you over to Snow Trace so I can show you how this works. And you'll have it right here in front of you to see. All right, let me share my screen. That's the beautiful thing about blockchain. Blockchains never make mistakes and they don't lie. So if you come here, you'll see these submissions, right? So you go to snowtrace.io, take your internal wallet address, type it here in the search field where it says search tokens, And this will tell you how much AVAX you have in your wallet. And then this is the transaction hash. And when you click on that, it's going to show you the market value of the token is $3.91. That's because the market value, the AVAX went down. Probably it's within the system. It probably went down about the same time I was submitting because it'll be this market value right here. Let me go backwards to this date. $4.30, 4 cents to submit. Now, if I come over here, and I got to tell you something else too. Click on this. So our fee is exactly the same, but what this is showing you is that the market value of AVAX has gone down. So right now it's $3.91. However, when I submitted it, it was higher than that. But this is the market value of the token right now based on what AVAX is valued at. See, AVAX is valued at $42.83. Now you can come back here tomorrow, and if AVAX is $20, it's going to show that this is $1.50 something, because that is what this amount of AVAX is worth at this time. And that's what this is showing you right here. Now, if you come back here, I'll go to another date. Oh, shoot. Oh, here it is. Let's come down here 3 days ago. See here, it's $4.05. In my transaction fee, do you see it's $1.11? Here's why. The blockchain, we can't guarantee this. This will always change. When I submitted this, it was probably congested. There's probably a lot of activity on the blockchain. And so AVAX raises their fees based on demand. So now if you will go to the next day, and there's just nothing you can do about that. It's just the way it is. Why won't this take me backwards? It doesn't want me to go backwards. And we have no control over that. So those do go up and down, and there's just nothing I can do about that. Come down here to one of these days. So here I paid $1.13. And at the market value, it was $4.11. So if you keep looking at these different submissions, you'll see that the blockchain fee, we just don't have any control on those blockchain fees. And here AVAX had a market value of $25. Or I'm sorry, $51. Pardon me there. My fault. So this here, this fee, this transaction fee, that's not a fee that's set by us. And we give you an estimate. So sometimes you guys will say, well, I have enough money in my wallet based on what we're telling you. We're only giving you an estimated amount. We could never project that. So if we were to say that it's always going to be on for the 4 cents, 9 times out, I thought I paid less in my, in my fees. Let me bring this back up. I'm going to come down here, submit. It was 32 cents. So that's the part that changes. I got to find out why this 100%, because here it's at $27, but this would be the market value at today's market value. This is the amount of MoveQuest that I did then. I'm going to check with the developers on this. Just to make sure I'm right in what I'm telling you. I know how it's supposed to be and how I told them to set these fees and how to program it. So I got to double check. I got to do some research on the AVAX chain. What I think is happening is that because the market value is higher, it's basing it on what the market value is today. But I'm still going to go in and check because this shouldn't be like that. So Ricardo, I could be wrong in what I'm telling you, but not wrong in the way it's supposed to work. But the developers might have been wrong in the way that they've set it up. The bottom line is it's still cheaper than what it was. And so what I think they're doing is it's probably a matter of decimals, but I'm going to find out. So when we do our next call, remind me, Ricardo, to touch base back on this so that I can give you a clear answer based on what it's supposed to do versus what it's doing and why it is actually doing this. It's supposed to be a set fee per miner. So I got to double check with the developers and see what they did in the computation there. Because if you're mining with 8 of the Omegas, this is exactly what it should cost per miner. 53 cents per miner, regardless of what the market value is of AVAX. Now, I know that if you were to go to the smart chain will give what it was when you transacted and what it is at its current market value. On the AVAX, it's not doing that, but here, let me check one thing, because Snow Trace is a B&B, or I mean, Snow Scan. Snow Scan is based on the B&B. Snow Scan, there we go. This will give me a better. Snow Trace is not as good as I use it just because I'm so used to it. But if I was to come here to my submissions, okay, it's exactly what it's doing. So they did program it right, and I was right in what I was telling you. So you see here where it's $3.61. I actually did pay the $4.34, but this is what it would be today. So somehow on Snow Trace, it's the way they're displaying that figure to you. Because if I was to come here, it will tell you what its market value is at its current price. And that's the difference. But I'm still going to get clarification for you so I can explain it to you better. I got to figure out exactly what Snow Trace is doing and how this one is working because they give the values out different.
And
But
that's the
this
same transaction, right? That's
is that
crazy.
kind of transaction.
Huh.
But this is why like Snow Trace for like contracts, for me to go read contracts and whatnot, I like it so much better because I read a lot of contracts. Um, just to make sure, and especially our contracts. But when I come over here, I like Snow Scan. It's a Binance Smart Chain product where the Snow Trace is an Avalanche product. And I got to tell you, Avalanche is a great blockchain, but man, oh man, they're like their RPC nodes for your wallet, their public nodes, terrible. Half the time they're down. Um, and then of course, I don't like the way they, do their information on Snow Trace and like trying to download transactions and get histories and all this stuff. You can't even download from Snow Trace. You have to get it from Snow Scan. So anyway, I use both. So maybe you should use Snow Scan. Might be easier for people to follow because this is changing. And this right here, they're not showing the exact same. It's like here's the transaction fee, 32 cents. This is on Snow Trace. And it's got to be based on, like I was telling you, the market value of AVAX. And you come over here, and it was only 4 cents. At the time I actually did the transaction. It was literally only 4 cents. I took a screenshot of it because somebody was talking about the fees. But now if you come over here back to Avalanche, now they're showing it at 32 cents. And this is the Avalanche chain or oh, what am I trying to call this thing? It's not an exchange. I'm having a brain moment. But anyway, I think I'm getting my point across. So it's not showing you the same results as what they actually were at the time. It's based on the market value of AVAX going up and down. Where with Binance, theirs, it actually is giving you the accurate amount here. And here it's actually showing you what it's worth today if I would have submitted it at today's market value. Over here, it's showing you what it was when I actually submitted it. And actually, it was only $4.34. So I think what happened is it's a fluctuation in the market value of AVAX at today's notice. So I'm gonna get that figured out so I know exactly how to explain it to you guys and how to come over here and look at it and get the accurate. But I do believe that the developers have it programmed right, just based on what I'm looking at from Snow Trace to Snow Trace, Snow Scan to Snow Trace. So Ricardo, I believe that it is calculating properly, but I think that what it's relaying or displaying is changing based on the market value of AVAX. But I'll let you know for sure. And if for some reason I'm wrong, again, ahead of time, I apologize. And then my developers are going to hear it from me because there's a certain way to have this stuff done. But I'm pretty sure they did it exactly the right way and that it's written into because I've already read the smart contract and it's already coded in the way it's supposed to be. In fact, I can even show you how it's coded. Do you guys want to stick around to see how it works, how it's coded?
Sure, we're enjoying the TED Talk.
Let me see if I come over here. Submit. Okay. So I'm going to go to the contract. Anybody can read the contract, okay? You can't write on the contract, but you can read on the contract. So if you were to go to the mining dot contract and you were to come down, it will show you all of the different, you can see what everybody has actually submitted, what they've claimed. And let's see, daily submissions, we'll do a query. Okay, that's not days claim, days buffer, daysclaim.com. Let me see, fees. Oh, this must be the airdrop. Is this the airdrop? Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Sorry, guys. Come down here, get balance, get claim fees. Okay, so like here, if I was to put in 10 days and I wanted to query that, that's $1. Okay, it's one plus the 6 digits. So it's $1. If you were to get the claim, you wanted to see how many people claim per day, you can plunk in your wallet, you can say how many days, and then you just hit query. Get daily shares. Let's see, what's the round day? Let me get it. Hold on, I gotta get the round. You'd have to go into your wallet, get the round, go to earning. Let's check 20075. Oops. 20075. Do the query. That's how many shares have been submitted today. If you get the day, get days buffer, get invalid miners, get max claim days, get pending claims number, get submission fees right here. Token ID 4. Okay, if your miner starts with a 4, that is what the token ID would be. Hit query. Oh, why did that do that? Token ID. Oh, it wants the ID of the actual token. Hold on. Let me go over here and get my tokens. So if you want to get your tokens, I'll come over here. Ta-da. Submit. I don't think it tells me a token on here, does it? Let me try on this one. God darn it. Sorry, you guys, my Mac always does this to me. I always flip the. Let's show more. Let me decode. All right, there's one miner. Let me come back over to the mining dock. Put in the token ID. Why is it not giving me this value? Sorry, guys. I don't usually check this on here. I read the contracts. I don't come in and use this stuff. Get submissions per day. I want to get you the fees on the miners. Here you can simulate your shares. This one should work. Let's workouts. Yeah, it's gonna want workouts. Data. I'm gonna have to get all this information because I never look at this stuff. Owner, main token. Logs, legacy submitted by owner. See, the leasing is here. We just have to turn it on. I'm gonna find out, you guys, and I'm gonna do a Zoom call on how to read all this stuff for you guys. See, I'm always on the right, not the read. I don't ever get it here.
Yeah, this will be for MQU.
Yeah.
Yeah, MoveQuest
Yeah, this is
University. Yeah.
airdrop per day. Some of these
This is
do work.
that
2,500. You know, get balance. Let's see, latest.
Yeah, we'll
So I mean,
get
that's a
wealthy
lot.
and healthy and
But
educated. Yeah, that's gonna be powerful. Yeah.
yes, these contracts, we've had to update them so many times. Some of these I haven't even come in and looked at all of the stuff. Owner address, let me see here. Let me get my wallet address up here. Come back down here. So I mean, you can play, you can't hurt this. So if you guys ever want to come in here and just mess around, if you're on the right, or I mean the read, you can't even connect to the right. Where was that one I wanted? Um, I mean, you can't hurt nothing. You can come in and play around on this all day and all night long. You can't hurt anything. I just need to get you the right values because right now I don't have it. Okay, pending claims. If I wanted to paste in my wallet address, do a query, I don't have any pending claims, but I actually do. I think they've changed this contract because when I come over here, it's not even giving me data. So I think there's a new contract for the activities. So I think that's why I'm not able to get anything because I don't think it's connected anymore. Let's see if they updated the contract. Yeah, there's a mining V6. That's why. So I have to wait until they release that back over to me. It's the V9. Yeah, that's why. I can't get anything on that contract because it's not the one that is in working. And that's why this shows only one submission for the entire day. It's not pulling the data from the proper contract. So we've had to update. I don't know if some of you have noticed that there's some issues with the hatchery. Some of you have a lot of miners. Like Quentin, you've got a ton. And so when you go to claim them, it just keeps spinning. That's a bug that isn't allowing you to claim that, so they had to update that hatchery contract. And I'm sure that they updated that mining contract for the leasing because we've included some other features with the leasing, and that isn't the right contract that I was just in. That's why everything's coming back um, with those errors because it's not the one that we're using at the moment. So it's not able to retrieve the data from that because it's already been transferred into the new contract, which is up here. But I'm not gonna mess with it because I don't know if they're done with it because they haven't told me yet. So that's why. But yeah, so there's been some things going on. These numbers have not changed all day. And so that's why those contracts aren't working. But that would be a really good I mean, would you guys find that helpful if I went over how to read and use these smart contracts? At some point, we're going to show you how you can just use the contract anyway. But once I get the right contract up so I can show you guys how to go in and get all the data that you want from the read contract, from each smart contract on the read value, if that's something that you guys would find helpful.
Oh
As
yeah.
part of
Yeah.
that whole thing, if you're telling us, Lynette, granted, we want you here, but at the same time, you've said with this being a decentralized platform, that whether websites go down or whatever the case may be, as much as we're able to go into the blockchain and navigate and things like that, that just brings that another level of security and calmness, if you will, for those that have been in the crypto space, or whether you've been in or whether you're new. So I appreciate you for being willing to do that. So we can, put that in place after, the beginning of the year sometime so that we can, continue to move forward. We are going to get this recording out to everyone so they can go back and whether it be share with someone else or just to kind of go back and listen to it for themselves again. As always, Miss Lynette, wonderful, wonderful wealth of information. Ken, any of you other leaders that want to share anything before we close this one out, go feel free to go right ahead. But this has been strong.
Yeah, I got nothing, man. It's another tremendous Zoom and one of many, 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 many more to come. And we're gonna learn so much and grow and earn an incredible type of lifestyle from being a part of this platform. And I'm just grateful. So appreciate you, man, doing what you always do. And let thanks so much for tonight. It's been great.
Let me answer Dustin real quick because I have seen this happen
Mhm.
a couple of times this week. If you are using your desktop, do you have Trust Wallet also pinned to your browser, like Trust Wallet and MetaMask? Because if you do, those two are conflicting, and that's because of the Kai chain, which we're going to be removing that. So if you were to unpin Trust Wallet, you shouldn't have that issue with your wallet. But Dustin, if you keep having it, go into our Zoom. You guys, our MoveQuest customer support, it's just movequestsupport.com. It'll take you right to our Zoom. It's open from 10 to 5, Monday through Friday. And I believe 2 nights a week, they're open till 10 p.m. I'll have to find out exactly what 2 days those are. But if you go in there, Dustin, then we can troubleshoot it for you. That's all I had to say, because that's kind of important, because some people are having that issue and they don't realize. And we
Right.
actually figured out that Kai Chain doesn't have a public RPC. And so it's interfering when you have Trust Wallet there, because Trust Wallet will interact with the Kai Chain. Kai Chain's in there in the mix and the contracts. And so we actually are going to be pulling the Kai Chain down until Rod has it functional, so that people won't be having these issues with their MetaMask wallet. But that's interfering and causing some issues. But anyway,
All right. Well, if there's nothing else,
Beautiful.
have
That's it,
something
my
good.
friend. No, I was saying it's beautiful, man. I'm just excited. It's good
All
stuff.
righty. Well, we'll
at
see
the
you
support Zoom,
guys.
move, because somebody asked it, movequestsupport.com. It'll take you right to our Zoom channel, movequestsupport.com. And same thing with our any of our Zooms anymore. It's just movequest.live, and it'll bring you right here.
Awesome. All right. Appreciate everybody being on and being a part of this movementum. We're about to get this thing back in order and what we got to go do, right? Submit, continue to submit. If you haven't been submitted, start submitting. Right? We know the numbers, we know what we got our hands on, and it's going to be an amazing ride closing out this year and opening up the new year with a bang, a brand new brand, a brand new vision, brand new stories, testimonials, and a life changing concept and platform here with MoveQuest. So, y'all be blessed. Good night, everybody.
All
Good
right.
night, everybody.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.